Hello and welcome to episode number 28 of Beyond the Plate. 27 weeks of coming at you with great happiness. Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore and Chennai on 94.3 Radio 1 in audio form and on the Radio 1 International YouTube channel. Pleased to welcome my co-host, all-round lovely lady, Amrita Raichand. What's up?
Hello, Rishi, and hello to all the Radio 1 listeners. So good to be back in the studio as always.
So I went very quickly to Delhi for a 2-day review.
Oh, you did?
With our CEO, and I was disappointed. Normally in December you'd expect there to be a nip in the air in the north. Neither the mornings or the evenings needed me to put on a sweater or even a jersey.
Really? When was this?
This is last week. Yeah.
But today I'm feeling cold in Mumbai, aren't you? I think there is a little nip in the air.
That's the air conditioning.
No, I'm talking about what I felt at home in the morning. I actually put on a little
the winter
stole.
season is upon us. I
Yes.
mean, it does increase appetites all around, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. And today I have a little surprise for you, for your munchies, because I know you crave it once in a while.
Once in a while?
I was just trying to be polite, Rishi. But, of course, in Bombay, we don't feel as cold like they do in most other places all around the country. But we should give it a thought as to why do we really start feeling hungrier in winters. So some researchers say, Rishi, that it could actually be an evolutionary factor, because there has been an inclination to store fat during winters because it was advantageous in times when food scarcity was a concern. Okay, so it's interesting when you think about it, because our body somewhere, our mind still feels the need to do to store that extra food. Secondly, the body expends a lot more energy during winter time to maintain a stable internal temperature, as it's harder to keep warm in colder seasons. Now, this increased energy expenditure may lead to a natural increase in appetite because the body suddenly needs more calories for the same. Finally, days are shorter, less exposure to sun. What does that lead to? It leads to less vitamin D, less serotonin, and we've spoken about serotonin in one of our earlier episodes, which is a neurotransmitter that produces sensations of feeling happy, of being well. And what is the easiest thing to turn to when you want happiness or comfort? Food. So naturally, there could be a psychological bent of mind that makes you want to eat more during winter to just feel happier.
Okay, so now we know the problem is. It's almost like you're the food doctor. We have food problems and you come and give us some food remedies. What do we do to prevent overeating that we feel during the winters? I mean, I understand we're more vulnerable. That's why we feel the munchies. But what can one do about it?
I'm going to tell you what we can do about it very quickly. But in today's episode, I want to tell all the Radio 1 listeners that we're going to talk a lot about these really amazing seasonal foods. So you called me a doctor, so I just want to tell you that this is not only going to be a doctor's lesson, it's going to be a lot about exciting foods. So what can we do to, avoid overeating? First of all, my personal trick is to plan my weekly meals, because I know that 2 to 3 times in a week I'm going to go out, there will be a party, there will be that little extra binge, so I plan it in advance. I give myself those 3 guilt-free days so that so that at the end of the week I'm not gripped with, oh my God, now what do I do? I've already pre-planned it. Yeah. Secondly, I know that this is going to happen, so I exercise. I ensure that even if it is for 20 minutes a day, whether it's in the evening, usually I'm a morning workout person, but at this time I'll do it in the evening as well. I don't care, but 20 minutes is very important. Finally, for everybody, you have to stay hydrated. I know you don't feel as thirsty as one does during summer and other months, but it's super important, because you will put on weight, your metabolism will slow down, your fat will store up if you don't give the body enough hydration.
So listen, I've been reading a lot about this, about eating local. People always say, oh my God, why should we have kiwis from New Zealand? And apples from Shimla even. Just, consume what is in and around your neighborhood. In the radius of where you live, and that practice obviously has a lot of health benefits, economic benefits, environmental benefits, because you're not you're not party to climate change because you've used flights and transport and burning of fuel to get your produce to the other part of the world.
True.
But what do we do about this whole thing about refrigeration? I mean, people will just buy stuff, store in the food. When I used to read Enid Blyton books back in the day, it used to be about the larder, stock the larder.
I used to love Enid Blyton as well. I'm quite a fan of the same. So what do we do, Rishi? In fact, my fourth trick to not overeat and to stay happy during winters was to indulge in seasonal foods. And I'm glad you brought this up, because I was going to talk about how important it is to actually enjoy seasonal treats. Because not only, they're meant to be had in winters. Winter also comes with a bad reputation. Oh my God, you only eat fattening food. Oh my God, you eat this and you eat that. But the fact is, whatever is being given to you by nature in winter is actually for a purpose. You are supposed to have it, and it's not only satisfying, it's also full of nutrients, full of a lot of antioxidants that actually build your immunity at this time. So yes, we must eat local. There is the problem of refrigeration and modern science, like you said, but a problem sometimes it's also a positive. We have to be conscious of it, and we have to know that these foods, even if you consume, are less sustainable. They're definitely more expensive because they've traveled such long distances. They're replete of, those nutritional value, those natural flavors. But at the end of the day, it's your choice. If you must, then you do. But I would not. So now let's talk about seasonal foods. India has so much to boast of its diverse cultures and cuisines that, interestingly, it also transcends into countries' winter foods. Now, whether you talk about Gujarat's undio, you talk about bajre ki rab in Rajasthan, whether you talk about teliama in Himachal Pradesh, or you talk about matar nimona, which is this lovely soupy matar dish in Uttar Pradesh. There is so much that our country has to offer. But today, Rishi, if you permit me, I'd like to talk about my three most popular Punjabi dishes. Obviously, because I'm a Punjabi.
Yeah, why not?
I've grown up.
I mean, we Tamils, we South Indians can be clannish. And as long as it's food, I mean, I love Punjabi food. My God. Give me Punjabi food anytime. So you're saying top three Punjabi winter specials.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So I want to talk about that now. Obviously, the first, you tell me, what's the most popular Punjabi dish which you love to eat in winter? I'm pretty sure you know it too.
Well, I do know that in the peak of summer, I've gone and asked for makai di roti and sarson da saag, and I've not found it in a lot of places because people have not served it to me. So I imagine that sarson da saag is something which is very winter oriented.
Yes, you are absolutely right. My intelligent friend always has the right answers. So yes, it's makki di roti and sarson ka saag, and believe it or not, it is so healthy. Somehow people think, Punjabi winter food has to be, bad for you. I mean, obviously, if you're going to have like a kilo of saag and 25 chapatis with it, obviously it's going to be bad for you. But otherwise, it's actually really, really healthy. Now, I'll break this down for you very quickly. Sarson ka saag is basically mustard greens, and it's made along with other leafy vegetables. Now, what does it have? The mustard seeds have a slight bitterness, that pungency, which warms the body. So again, perfect for winters. Also, it's really, really rich in top-class antioxidants, essential micronutrients, especially iron, along with the vitamins like A, C, K. And this really makes for a powerhouse of nutrients building the immunity. Now, you pair this up with makki di roti. What is makki di roti? It's cornmeal. It's maize flour. You have it with that, which is that bite, that full of fiber roti. A goes really well with this. B, it's actually very good for you. Secondly, then you add that dollop of homemade white butter. Now, where do people go wrong? They'll buy commercial butter, lots of it. That's not the right thing. Use homemade butter. It is very easy to make. And before I end this whole segment, I'm going to tell you that all of these recipes and names that I'm talking about are all up on my YouTube channel. And I made sure I made new recipes and kept them ready before I came with this winter food episode for Beyond the Plate. So it's all there, including butter, how to make homemade butter. Okay, then some nice pickle that can be of your choice, adds that little zing to the meal. And finally, you have it with gur, which is jaggery. And usually in Punjab, this gur is made along with some fennel seeds. That aids in digestion, and the gur obviously gives that nice sweet sensation, and it completes this meal. Now tell me, how is this unhealthy? Not unhealthy at all. You gave me that dirty look.
Doesn't sound like it when you describe it. It's fantastic.
Well, I mean it. It's just that, like I said, some dishes just have a bad name. Now,
yeah, and you know the thing about jaggery is just it's so universally beneficial for health that nobody argues with it, and it's so delicious. Absolutely no two ways about it.
Yeah, and it's so easy to replace a plain sugar with jaggery. I mean, even in chai, you can just have gud ki chai, jaggery tea, and it's delicious.
I've been thinking that whenever I've consumed radish, which is Muli, by itself, I've never liked it.
Have you had it in winters?
But give me a Muli paratha or a radish paratha, and suddenly my entire perception towards that particular vegetable changes. And that's the next in the line of delicacies.
That's
right?
the next one in the Punjabi delicacy. Every Punjabi home, and my father-in-law loves it, by the way. His favorite is Muli ka paratha. But I promise you, Rishi, you try having radish in winters. The taste is very different. It's actually refreshing. That crunch is there. That little peppery taste is there. And usually in winters, you're surrounded by starchy vegetables. So this actually makes for a pretty refreshing change. And it's sweeter than
when
it is when
we go to
summer.
restaurants and they don't give us cut onions, which is cut pyaz or kanda, and instead they give us cut Muli. They say they're trying to save money. They're on a budget.
No, but I actually really enjoyed it. And to be very honest, I agree with you. I don't enjoy the taste of radish in any other season but winter. Winter, my whole, my respect goes up for it. So Muli ka paratha, again, very easy. You make, you have your whole wheat atta with which you make your rotis. So in this, you make a delicious stuffing with grated muli, and then you can add onions, you can add, spices, green chilies, coriander, and you stuff that paratha, make it with a little bit of ghee, have it with yogurt, and again, it's a very filling meal. You can have it for breakfast. It can be a nice lunch. I would not recommend it for dinner because anything which is carb heavy is something I don't recommend. Or unless you're like me who eats early dinner. Before 7, if you eat it, it's fine as long as you have 2 hours to digest it. But it's really a healthy meal on its own, isn't it?
Yeah, and little birdie tells me that it really cleans up the tract. You know, the respiratory area, the throat box. It's good for that.
Radish. That's radish. So in any form, it's actually again very good for winter time because usually you're congested during winter time. You have cold. So this really helps clear the mucus. So again, very, very delightful.
And last but not the least,
the star of today's Punjabi winter delicacies. I'm sure everybody has heard of, and I'm sure you've dabawed a lot of Gajar ka halwa, haven't you?
Totally. Carrots and carrot halwa has got to be an eternal favorite.
It is. And I think not only in Punjabi homes, it's quite a favorite in any Indian home. Even abroad, they'll say Gajar ka halwa, which is nice to know that is so popular. But again, Gajar ka halwa has a bad reputation. People think it, they'll put on weight, they think their cholesterol levels will shoot up. And also, it's quite time consuming to make if you do it in the traditional, authentic way. Now, I frankly love it. I don't think any of these bad names are fair to give to Gajar ka halwa. Obviously, if you have it once in a while, if you're going to have it every day, yes, even I wouldn't recommend it. But my son only eats carrots in the form of Gajar ka halwa. And carrots, we all know, is so healthy. It really, really, it's so full of carotenoids that you really need to include it in anyone's diet, especially a growing boy who's an athlete. So I have to, by hook or by crook, feed him carrots. So I've come up with this version which is very easy, so quick to make, and is very healthy as well. Doesn't take hours of prep. So what do? Should I tell you the recipe? Which was actually going to be the recipe of the day.
Just give me a moment. Guys, the Ask Amrita section comes up at the end of the show. Ask her any question, food related, recipe related, food history related, and she's happy to answer. 9833 943 943 9833 943 943. Please put your name along with the question. We'll answer it at the end of the show. The recipe of the week comes to you in audio form here on 94.3 Bombay, Delhi, Bengaluru and Chennai. You will also find it in video form. Amrita shoots in her studio kitchen. Lovely, lovely video on Instagram. at Amrita Raichand as well as at 94.3 Radio 1 India. You wanted a slightly extended version? That's on Beyond the Plate. Chef and Beyond.
Chef and Beyond.
Chef and Beyond, which is Amrita's official YouTube channel. And now for the recipe of the day. Go for it.
But hold on, Rishi, I have a surprise for you. Dun-dun-dun. I actually got the recipe of the week for you to try as well.
For those of you who are listening on pure audio on the radio, this is a delicious, scrumptious carrot halwa. Gajar ka halwa, as they call it in the north, and all of you in Chennai and Bangalore would know it as a carrot halwa. That is staring at me in the face. It's such a bad idea to make my concentration lapse. My words are going to go
But
over
don't
each
you
other.
worry, this is the healthier version, so you don't have to worry at all.
Now suddenly I'm getting worried.
Okay. The proof of the pudding is in the taste, so we will do that after the episode is over.
Okay, let's go for the recipe.
So now we have grated carrots. There are about 3 cups of grated carrots in this. How do I add sweetness? We just spoke about it. Jaggery. I'm not putting any white sugar in this, unrefined sugar. You can also put some raw sugar if you really want to accentuate the color of the carrots, because when you add a little jaggery, I've used a very, very light colored jaggery. So when you go to the supermarket, try and ask for that. You have many colors of jaggery powder as well. And you cook it out. You have to cook the carrots. You have to cover it and cook it in its moisture so that they soften up. It takes about 10 to 12 minutes. Then you add the jaggery. The jaggery melts. You have to wait for that. Once it comes together, in the end, instead of milk, which we have to keep cooking for hours and hours, we're going to add coconut milk, which is freshly squeezed at home. So you take a fresh coconut, you grate it or you make small pieces of it, add it to a mixer grinder, grind it with a little bit of its own water. You know that fresh coconut comes with water inside. So about 2-3 tablespoons or about 1/4 cup of coconut water, and you grind it nicely and take a muslin cloth and strain through it. So you get nice fresh coconut milk. You add this fresh coconut milk to this gajar, the carrot and the jaggery mixture. Cook it a little bit. The moment the entire mixture leaves the side of the pan, believe it or not, your gajar halwa is ready. You just, for the aroma, and for the flavor, you add some cardamom powder and you serve it with chopped nuts of your choice.
Yeah, malicious. Time now for the Ask Amrita section. This is Ria. Amrita, how do you achieve the perfect caramelization for the custard's top layer?
Ooh, so you watched the caramel custard recipe last week and I'm guessing you liked it. So it's very easy, Ria. You don't have to worry. I know making caramel is intimidating. 2 things that you need to keep in mind. When you start melting the sugar, don't touch it, don't stir it too much. Allow it to melt on gentle heat. You can throw in a little bit of water to kickstart the melting process. Then you will see it'll happen on its own, and it's a beautiful process. It's actually therapeutic to watch the sugar melt and evenly get distributed. What you have to wait for is the right color, and that can be a bit dicey. You kind of blink your eyelid, and from a perfect caramel, it can be a burnt caramel. So just watch out for that. Finally, when you pour it into the base of the tin, make sure that it is completely set before you add in the custard mixture. That's where most people go wrong. They don't allow it to set properly. So when the custard mixture gets added, it kind of gets holes in it, and it kind of breaks it apart. So just wait. If your temperature in the room is not good enough, just dunk it in the fridge for about 15 minutes, 10 minutes. Once you can turn the pan without the caramel base moving, it's properly set. Then you add the rest of the custard mixture in it, and then just bake it the way I've said, or steam it in the pressure cooker, the one that you've seen in the video.
And we're all set to bring you another wonderful episode next week. Beyond the Plate comes to you Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore and Chennai, 94.3 Radio 1 on the radio, and on the YouTube channel it is Radio 1 International. Thanks for your time. See you next week.
Thanks for having me, Rishi. See you.
94.3 Radio 1.